it's good to like experience something, and I want other people to not go through. If there's like a mistake I made, I don't want you to repeat it. If there's something I learned, I'm willing to share that still. My name is Lois Andoh. I am originally from Ghana, and I came to ASU to complete my undergrad in supply chain management with a 1-year master's in global logistics. I work for Shamrock Foods Company in their redistribution service aspect. I work as a logistics analyst, and there my team essentially manages shipments into our warehouse. So I am daily running reports on the lanes, monitoring margins and revenue for the team, that aspect. My biggest takeaway would be knowing how to work in corporate America, learning this, being able to apply the skills that I learned from my degree program in the workspace, and also having the opportunity to just explore supply chain management as a whole in this part of the world. I believe the biggest challenge for me was finding the job and, applying for jobs and getting, hired for a position. The interviews were challenging. There were times where I thought, have I really up for this? But I realized that I had value to give to, the company that I was applying for. So it was still worth the short to go through with it. A student should focus on the companies they want to work for, and learn about the job, prepare their resumes to suit the job, learn about the company, their history, anything you can find online. We have resources like that. So just do more research about the job and be prepared for interviews. There are questions out there, videos out there that a student can watch to get ready for a job. I think one thing for me that I realized later along the line was I was just applying for positions here and there because I wanted to get a job. But once I started focusing on studying the roles, seeing what the responsibilities were, and tying my resume to the positions, I saw like a positive change. The interviews I was getting, the way I was answering questions and asking questions about the role. So I think that would be my advice for students searching for position. My advice would be to know that have confidence in yourself first. It can be scary when you're from another country, coming into a culture that you are not solely familiar with, and proving that you are worth something to the position. So I think build your confidence and know that you're not just an international student. You come to school, you study the program, you have the knowledge and the resources to be of value. And with that, position yourself also to be the best. There are certain skills that are required for the industry you find yourself in, and you, one way or the other, did not get that from your schooling, there are resources out there. There are courses online that you can just take, short courses online that you can just take and build those skills and prepare yourself for the job. So ultimately, there's no need to be scared that you may not be good for a position, or you may not get an offer, but instead you know that you have the skills, and know that you have the value that you can give to students. When it comes to, give to organizations, when it comes to applying for OPT, go through the checklist, make sure that all your documents are what they're supposed to be. Make sure that you go to ISSC if you have any questions I say I would rather ask than assume that this is how it's supposed to be. I say ask questions all the time and just get your documents, everything ready when applying. When I first started, I realized that I kept my opinions to myself just because I didn't have the confidence to speak up or make suggestions on certain projects that I would work on. One thing that helped me was realizing that I was a team member just as my colleagues, from America. And I also had something to offer and something to give. So I pushed myself to, be more vocal, and I had to prepare for project, or I would sometimes go through like practice on if it was a presentation, like run through it, be prepared that I had all the information that I wanted to relay, and also worked on my communication skills. Definitely, that was an area that I saw was causing that lack of confidence. So I would say that, again, know your worth, know your value, know that you're just as important and valuable to your team or the position as any other person would be. And once you have that, you are able to deliver results, and you're able to do what is needed for the position or for the role. So OPT has given me the opportunity to work in corporate America with people that are more experienced in my field, supply chain. So it's equipped me with leadership skills that I've seen me being able to apply in the future in my career. I would one day want to start my own business, and I have had the opportunity to work with managers, leaders that have years of experience in the field, and that I see as being beneficial to my goal of trying to start a business in supply chain back in my home country. So it's been a great benefit for me having had the opportunity to work in corporate America, and I see myself being able to apply those skills in the near future with a business I'm hoping to start. As an international student, before going into OPT, we know that it's a temporal authorization. And so I think sometimes one of the challenges we face is being able to speak for ourselves when it comes to especially salary. And so when I started my job, the fear of not knowing whether the company would one day want to sponsor my authorization and extend it kept me from being able to negotiate the job offer and negotiate some of the conditions that it came with. So if I had known that shouldn't limit me, I would probably have done that. So that would be something I wish I knew, that I shouldn't limit myself to accept just anything because of the temporal status of the OPT. The very first thing would be ISSC. It's been very helpful navigating the process. And resources would also be like the USCIS webpage. There's a lot of information there that students can find out. Another thing would be like legal counsel in general. I think that's something that we may not use a lot of times. But one thing I realize here is the information is not just given to you. You have to find out, you have to ask questions. So something like an immigration lawyer is a very beneficial resource to have. And there are companies that have certain benefits that you can get things like that through. So for instance, my company, we have a partnership with another company, and I get to for just a little fee, be able to talk to certain lawyers about, options, or just get clarity on information. So I'd say that would be a resource. In terms of technicality, with that I mean building your skills as just an employee. I'd say Udemy as a website for short courses for you to be able to enhance your skill set in certain areas that you don't see yourself as strong yet. So yeah, those would be the resources I can recommend. Udemy, Udemy. So there's just like a bunch of courses from analytics to photography to music, just anything. And the courses they usually have like sale. So I bought a course for like $10, and then that's definitely worth it. So every day, 8 to 5, 9 to 5 or whatever, then sometimes you have to work longer, because I had class. I never had classes on Friday from like second year of school, and then Fridays perhaps enough. So yeah, it's challenging. With OPT, there are so many options when it comes to like getting an opportunity. It doesn't have to be the core of your program that you did, as long as the role or the job has some relation to like a class you took, a course, an aspect of your program. You can do that. There are also volunteer opportunities on just like OPT, post-OPT that you can do to not make it count towards your unemployment day. So if you're not finding a position that would pay for, if you're not finding a paid position, you can find a volunteer position as long as there's some tie of its duties to what you studied in school. So for me, I volunteered with a food bank, and I was helping with their inventory management. So that is something that is part of supply chain management. So that was something I did on my OPT while I was waiting to get a permanent or full-time position, paid position. Know your worth, know that you're as valuable as anyone else, and challenges would come your way with a different culture, different people, but just embrace it and be ready to learn also, because there's a lot out there that you can learn from working in a different culture, working in corporate America. So be ready to explore that. Just be yourself. Be yourself in everything else, whether it's a job application, interviews. Just be yourself. If there are so many times you get rejection, it doesn't make you less valuable than the next person. It just means you're not the right fit for that position. So just move on and find something else that works for you and works for the company.